Welcome, dear viewers, to another exclusive story here on Mr. Magazine, your ultimate destination for the most emotional, mysterious, and heart-stirring tales from the dazzling world of Turkish celebrities. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and press join to support our growing community. Because today, we dive into a storm that has quietly begun to brew behind the beloved drama Rüzgarlı Tepe, a storm of silence, distance, and unspoken emotions that has left fans everywhere asking the same haunting question: what happened to Gökberk and Cemre? For over a year, the names Gökberk Yıldırım and Cemre Arda have been intertwined like two verses of the same poem. Together, they brought life to the sweeping romance of Rüzgarlı Tepe, Windy Hill, a series that swept through Turkish television screens like a warm breeze on a cold evening. Their on-screen chemistry was effortless, their partnership natural, their glances charged with the kind of quiet electricity that transcends fiction. Viewers didn't just watch their characters fall in love, they believed it, felt it, and carried that feeling beyond the episode credits. Soon, the admiration spilled off the screen and into real life. Interviews filled with laughter, backstage photos glowing with comfort and affection, casual appearances at events where their warmth toward one another seemed unmistakable, all of it painted a portrait of two souls whose connection might have crossed the invisible line between fiction and truth. And for the longest time, the world believed they were inseparable. But then, silence. A silence that spoke louder than any declaration. It all began with a single, fleeting video. A few seconds on Gökberk Yıldırım's Instagram story, yet enough to awaken 1,000 theories. The actor appeared alone, seated at what looked like a rehearsal space. The lighting was dim, the setting quiet, almost too quiet. His head was bowed, eyes fixed on a script that seemed to weigh heavy in his hands. There were no smiles, no familiar laughter echoing through the background. For the first time in months, he was without his usual partner in crime, no Cemre, no cheerful exchange. Just solitude. Within hours, the video spread across the digital landscape like wildfire. Fan accounts reposted it with captions ranging from concern to heartbreak. "Where's Cemre?" one asked. "Why does he look so sad?" another wrote. "Something's wrong, you can see it in his eyes," commented a third. And thus began the whisper that would grow into a storm. Normally, such moments are dismissed. After all, actors have bad days too. But what unsettled the fans was not just the seriousness of Gökberk's demeanor, but the sudden, glaring absence of Cemre Arda, who for so long had seemed to orbit his every professional and public appearance. It wasn't just what she was saying, it was what she wasn't saying that spoke volumes. Fans began to interpret this quiet as a message in itself. Some believed it was a deliberate move, an attempt to protect privacy amid rising curiosity. Others feared it signaled emotional distance, a silent acknowledgement that something between them had shifted. The sudden pause in their once constant interaction felt, to many, like the end of a melody that had been playing so beautifully. Here at Mr. Magazine, we always remind our wonderful viewers, in the world of fame, absence is often louder than words. So what really happened on that windy hill? Before we continue, make sure to like this video, because the next part will take us behind the curtains, to the whispers circulating in the industry, and the theories that fans are passionately debating across the internet. For months, Gökberk and Cemre had embodied what many described as the perfect creative partnership. Directors praised their discipline, colleagues admired their camaraderie, and viewers adored the way they brought emotion to life with such sincerity. They weren't just acting together, they were, in a sense, dancing to the same emotional rhythm. But now, insiders hint that both stars might be standing at a professional crossroads. Reports from sources close to the production suggest that Gökberk Yıldırım has been exploring new opportunities, projects that challenge him artistically, perhaps darker, more complex roles that would allow him to break away from the romantic image that Rüzgarlı Tepe solidified. Meanwhile, whispers about Cemre Arda tell a different story, of international interest, of potential offers from abroad that could carry her career beyond Turkish television and into a global spotlight. If true, these parallel ambitions might explain the physical, and perhaps emotional, distance growing between them. A source close to the show, speaking anonymously, reportedly said, "They both have big dreams. Sometimes that means walking separate paths for a while. It doesn't have to mean conflict, it can mean growth." And yet, for fans who have invested not just in their characters but in the people behind them, even a hint of separation feels like heartbreak. Meanwhile, Cemre's reserved behavior continues to mystify. Friends describe her as introspective, someone who processes emotions quietly. It's possible that she's deliberately choosing silence as a shield against speculation. Others point out that public scrutiny can sometimes drive even the warmest personalities into retreat. Sometimes, one entertainment journalist observed, "The absence of words is the only way to preserve truth." But let's not forget what made this duo special in the first place, their authentic bond. Behind-the-scenes footage from earlier this year showed them sharing jokes, improvising lines, and exchanging encouraging glances during difficult shoots. They were seen walking together between takes, lost in conversation, as though the world around them had paused. In those candid moments, their friendship felt real, too real to be reduced to gossip. Perhaps what we are witnessing now is simply the natural ebb and flow of two creative spirits navigating fame, work, and personal evolution. Or perhaps, as the fans fear, something more fragile is unfolding, something that words will eventually have to confront. Dear viewers, what do you think? Is this the calm before a new beginning, or the quiet aftermath of a goodbye? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. Your insights make our Mr. Magazine community one of the most passionate and intelligent audiences on YouTube. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the join button to support independent journalism and storytelling. Every click helps us bring you deeper into the lives of your favorite stars, not through empty gossip, but through empathy, understanding, and heart. Back to the story. As of now, neither Gökberk nor Cemre has issued an official statement. The production team of Rüzgarlı Tepe remains tight-lipped, fueling even more speculation. Could Gökberk's rumored new project mark the end of their on-screen partnership? Will Cemre's international ambitions separate them further, or might fate, as it so often does in the world of drama, bring them back together in a future season? Only time will tell. Whether as lovers, friends, or simply two professionals who once shared a rare spark, their story has already carved its place in the hearts of millions. And so, the winds over Rüzgarlı Tepe keep blowing, carrying whispers of affection, fragments of mystery, and perhaps, the promise of reunion. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey here at Mr. Magazine. If this story touched you, like the video, subscribe, and press the join button to help us continue bringing you more heartfelt stories from the world of Turkish entertainment. And tell us, whose story should we explore next? Which Turkish celebrity duo deserves the spotlight in our next video? Because here on Mr. Magazine, every story is more than a headline, it's a heartbeat behind the fame, a secret behind the smile, and a whisper carried by the wind.